Hi, my name is Cindy Seitz-Krug. Thanks for watching my first YouTube video on grid-based quilting designs. I'm going to do a different grid-based quilting design every week for a year. Grid-based quilting designs are very popular right now. You see them everywhere, and our eye is just naturally drawn to them because of their beauty. So I decided to share with you how to execute some of these designs and some of the ins and outs in doing them so that you can be successful when you do your own grid-based quilting designs. So let's get started. I've marked a little sample quilt, and it's I've got 1/2 inch grid marked. I have to get on my rubber fingertips because I can't quilt without them. So here's the grid that I've drawn. We're going to start down at the bottom. For clamshells, it's always best to start down at the bottom of your design and work upward. I'm not going to start way down at the bottom because it's a little bit harder when you're right at the edge. So I'm going to start here where the X is, and we're just going to quilt some clamshells. So I'm going to use my needle down position. Pull our bobbin thread up. We'll get started. Now with clamshells, let me go ahead and lock these stitches off and talk to you about this. Why didn't it stay down? There we go. Clamshells take 2 squares. So we're going to go from here to here. So you'll see it's going to occupy 2 squares in your grid. So for this 1/2 inch grid, our clams are actually going to be 1 inch wide. If you want smaller clamshells, then you need to mark a smaller grid. Alright, here we go. So this is very simple. You're just going to make an arc up to the top here. And then go down to that next, to the bottom of the grid mark. You'll notice I'm using my open toe foot here. I like this foot for grid-based quilting designs because it allows you really good visibility. And with grids, you do want to take your time and make them as pretty as you can, because keeping on the grid is important. Okay, so we're coming to the end of a row of our grid. Now I'm just going to travel up to the next row along the edge. And now this one's going to be a 1/2 of a grid. So we're going to go down right to the center of that previous row. And this is what you want to aim for right there. You want to make sure you hit that spot, because if you start to get off on that, it doesn't just get better by itself. You have to get your grids back on track. Get rid of those threads. You'll notice how that open toe foot really gives me good visibility, so I can hit that spot just perfectly. Okay, and we'll just do one more row just to show you how they look when you start piling clamshells up. They're beautiful and traditional and very easy. And you can do these with your domestic machine, your long arm, or hand quilting. And that's it. Those are clamshells. Here's a here's a little quilt I did with some clamshells. And this was done with a 1/4-inch grid, so they ended up being 1/2-inch clamshells. And they're just beautiful, a beautiful grid-based quilting design. So that's it for today. I hope you liked that. 52 weeks of grid-based quilting designs. We're gonna cover a lot of them in the next year. So I hope you'll join in every week and learn a new one. And if you love grid-based quilting designs, you might want to check out my book, the Grid Design Workbook. It's got 13 different grid-based quilting designs, and it's got step-by-step instructions and practice sheets, and it shows you how they look as a background or in patchwork. So check that out on my website, quintessentialquilting.com, and join me next week for our next grid-based quilting design. Thanks.